The road to Scottish Summit starts here. This is the Power Platform Podcast. Join Rex de Koning, Ana Inés Urrutia de Sousa, and Paddy Byrne as they talk to the Microsoft community about their stories.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Power Platform Podcast. We're recording this episodes for Scottish Summit 2024, and today we have an amazing guest that will share with us a couple of things about history, how he landed into Scottish Summit, and some other things that we will not spoil for now. So I'm Anna. That's, as I said a couple of episodes ago, that's all you need to know. I would like to say thank you, of course, to our sponsor, which is Proxima 3, that without this huge company, we were not able to do this podcast and some other things. So, Rex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm Rex Koning, one of the co-hosts. Also, not that important. The most important one is coming up now. So, Greg, over to you.
Hello. I don't know about the most important one, but yes, hello. I'm Craig White, based in the UK. Microsoft MVP for Biz Apps. Yeah, that's me. Family man. I got if there's any noise in the background, because my little one's going to bed. So apologies in advance if there's any kind of crashing or banging about that you might be able to hear. But yeah, all good. Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah,
working from home, right? And
yeah,
work and life get together.
Yeah.
So we did a little bit of a research. We tried to do an icebreaker, and I found out something that might not be so controversial, but still is interesting.
Okay.
So if I say to you that you and I we share something in common, what would you think that is?
Share something in common.
Yeah, we have something that we share.
I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't even know where to begin. Guessing on that one. My mind's gone in all sorts of places. I've literally no idea.
Well, if your mind goes any places, go to the south.
Yeah. Like, honestly, you don't know what goes on in my head half the time. I don't know. Enlighten me. Give us a clue. Let's see if I can work it out.
So it's community related, luckily.
Community related.
Yes.
I don't know.
My God. Okay. When was your first speaking experience in the community?
2 weeks ago.
No, you spoke before.
In person.
Yeah.
My first in-person one was 2 weeks ago at EPBC.
So we got the wrong information.
I think we. Oh. So you weren't at the South Coast Summit at some time.
I was at South Coast Summit last year and 2 years ago, but as an attendee, not as a speaker.
No, okay, as an attendee indeed.
Sorry if I just really blown that one completely out of the
Our sources are so bad.
I do apologize. Hang on a minute. I need to go back and think now. I was like, no, I wasn't the speaker last year.
2021, after pandemic, when we...
No, it definitely wasn't then. I think 2021, I only knew 3 people in the whole community, to be fair. And two of them were the people that I went with, that I worked with, and one was Zoe Wilson. Because I'd not long started Agilisys, and I was like, oh, there's one person that I know. And back then, there's loads of people that I recognised, but I was like, oh, little old me, I can't go and talk to these people. So yeah, I was very kind of in the background at 2021, I think. Wasn't involved much at all. I don't know how much of it I remember, I think, because the night before, me and my friends got just a tiny bit drunk. So yeah, that all day, the next day was quite a challenge. But yeah, I don't think I was very well known at all in the community.
Well, somebody remembered you.
Did you stay in the same hotel that the conference was taking place?
The Hilton. No, I think I stayed in there's because this was at the cricket ground, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I stayed. There was a Premier. Is it a Premier Inn or a Travelodge? Literally over the road. Yeah, I stayed there for a couple of nights. I think work were paying for me, and they didn't want to pay for me to go in the Hilton. So I got the Premier Inn instead, which is fine, right? It's fine. This was a place to sleep, so it's all good.
Yeah, good. So we have to kill our messenger because this is the worst. I don't even know who that person is.
We'll style it out. So what was the key thing for you then at South Coast Summit 2021?
It was my first speaking engagement with the
Wicked.
community and like in person. And we got the information that was also your first one.
It was
But
my first in-person comp. Was it? Yeah, it was my first. I went to a couple of SharePoint Saturdays in 2017
yeah.
and 18. My first kind of like community conference that I attended, yes, was South Coast Summit 2021, just after the
God.
pandemic. I think. No, actually, I tell a lie. I went to ESPC a couple of times before that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who to
good.
who to blame, if our like messenger or yourself, because you don't seem to remember what's
I
been
know, like
happening.
because I think I just blends into one. Yeah, I went to ESPC before COVID. My memory before COVID is kind of a bit woolly. It just
Yeah.
sort of, there's a really sort of very distinctive line in the sand from pre and post COVID. But I went to ESPC a couple of times again, just as an attendee. I went into Dublin in 2017 and then Denmark 2018, which was wicked. Denmark's a lovely city. But my first in-person speaker gig in the community, anyway, was 2 weeks ago at EPPC. Michael Ruff and I did an all-day workshop.
Yeah, that's great.
And it was wicked. I loved it. I've done in-person speaking before, just in like the NHS in this country. So before COVID, when I worked in the NHS, I used to go around and just speak about really boring NHS things that I won't bore you with. But I did quite a fair amount of public speaking in those circles. So it's not like completely the first time of being up in front of people, but it was the first time being up in front of people talking about the Power Platform.
Well, still like a first time, right?
Yeah, I loved it. But I wasn't like 100% nervous. I was just like, I was full of adrenaline the night before.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep, not out of nerves, just like, I can't wait to get in there and just go and do our thing. It was really good fun. So hopefully he gets to do it again at some point, because Michael and I came out of that session with like, oh, we've got loads more things we could do in that workshop. So maybe we'll get to do it again at some other point. That was pretty cool.
Let's see what icebreaker Rex has, because I don't think I know.
Well, you should know.
Oh, okay.
Now we heard that you were from a region of England that's called Cornwall.
Correct. Yeah.
If I'm correct, and therefore you must drink something called a rattler. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a huge cider lover. But yes, when you're in Cornwall, you have to have some of the local delicacies. Cornish pasties being one. I don't care wherever you get a pasty from, it's not real unless you get one in Cornwall. That's just a given, right? That's the rules. And yeah, Rattler is the same. And there's some other breweries down here. There's a brewery called Skinner's that do like their own sort of brand of pale ales and stuff that are quite well known across the country. So yeah, we have a few alcoholic delicacies down here. The particular brand of cider being one. Yeah, have a few of those and see what kind of headache you get. Yeah, that's not fun. Been there, done that, never again.
So that's when you went over to the lagers.
Yeah, I've always been. I like fruity ciders when the sun's out, but obviously I live in England, so the sun's probably out about 3 days a year. Give a break. So don't get often opportunity to have a fruity cider, but I'm a bit more of a lager man or a craft beer man. But I don't mind a cider every now and then. But if I have a cider, it's not Rattler anymore. That's kind of like the demographic of, I know, maybe the students down here, because where I live, there's a university, so there's a lot of students in and around me, and they're probably more likely to be drinking several pints of Rattler most nights. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit beyond that one now. So I'm a responsible adult now with a family.
Very well, very well. So not too much community events, because that's not healthy then. Awesome.
Okay, so we got from the 2 icebreakers, we got one that was right. So I'm happy about that. Yes. So we would like to know, for the people that doesn't know you and that are listening to the podcast and they're going to engage in Scottish Summit for the first time, would you mind sharing what you do in your day-to-day life? Can be community related, work related, family related, as you wish.
Cool. Yeah. Apologies, by the way, if I keep scratching my eye. I've got hay fever, and it always makes my eyes really itchy. So apologies, I'm just sitting here doing this quite a lot. It's always at this time of night that it gets really, really bad. I don't know why. Yeah. So it's a day job. I work for a company in the ANS in the UK called ANS, who I think quite a lot of people are starting to hear of, because we've got quite a few big community personalities in there.
Quite a few, yeah.
I think, I'm sure some people might recognise a few of them, which is great. We've got announced as UK Partner of the Year for services yesterday, which is fantastic news for us. My role there is, so obviously the Power Platform, we kind of got two areas of local. We've got D365, which is kind of headed up by another MVP, Dan Barber. But in the low-code practice, we've got, we build solutions for people, which is, I think, is quite a common thing. We need a requirement, we go and build it, we deliver it, happy days, everyone's happy. What I do is more around, rather than the building of solutions, trying to work with organizations to get them to build their own solutions.
Nice.
That's kind of like what low code was kind of all about, isn't it? It's like democratizing things that anyone can go and build stuff. But what we find is, obviously, since the release of the Power Platform in 2016, whether it was, lots of people are building things without any governance or security, and it's all a bit of a wild west. So we're finding a lot of customers are now coming to us saying, hey, we want to adopt the Power Platform. It's a great tool set. However, we just sort of need to just make it a little bit sensible so we can kind of carry on promoting people to go and do awesome stuff, but with, you know, a degree of security and peace of mind. So I work with organizations basically trying to educate them on how Power Platform environments work, security measures, how to monitor activity. We do a lot of stuff with the Series Starter Kit, data loss prevention. So I don't really build much myself these days, but it's just trying to help empower other people to kind of get those security bits in place and then walk them through. And we've got some other people in the team as well that will kind of go through things like change and resistance management and
nice.
You know, like building a champion network. And that's not necessarily my forte. I'm a very technical person, so I like all the clicky buttons and setting up policies because I'm a weirdo. But we've got a good set of people that come in and try and do that whole package of people. So they can kind of then walk away and go, right, we've got the tools enabled so we can go and promote low code internally. And I really enjoy it. It's good fun. I don't think many partners are doing it to perhaps either at all to the level that we're doing it, which is great. It's kind of a bit of a niche for us. It's something close to me as well. I've done a tutorial at EPPC about with Michael Roth about becoming the best Power Platform administrator, and something I'm quite passionate about because I've sort of grown up in IT for 15 years where lots of admin roles are very well established, like for Exchange and for Teams and for SQL. But for Power Platform, it's the admin is normally like the guy or the girl who's built a couple of apps and they just know more than everyone else. It's like, well, you can go and develop stuff and you can be our evangelist. Oh, you can be our admin as well. It's like, well, hang on a minute, that doesn't quite work. So a lot of what I do is also just around trying to educate organizations on the importance of a dedicated Power Platform admin, maybe even an admin team, because the Power Platform is massive. There's lots to it, and you can't just sort of lump it on one person who's trying to do 3 or 4 other jobs as well. So I do a lot of that, and it's great fun. I have some really good engagements. I really enjoy it during the day, and that's kind of what I do in the community stuff as well. I've got a blog. We've been running for just over a year. I do a bit of Power FXy, Canvas appy bits in there because I'm a Canvas app nerd. I've always enjoyed Canvas apps, but I blog a lot around the governance side. So you're quite niche, I guess. Not that all the sexy, fancy, clicky button things happen. All these are pretty and nice, but they're kind of the essentials to the platform. That operational governance is quite important. So I do a lot of that for the community. I've been blogging about it for a while. I've now started speaking at events, which is cool. I've done some bits virtually as well. It's something I've wanted to do for years. People that have been quite close to me over the last sort of 18 months or 2 years will know that I've wanted to do a blog for many years, just never had the time or couldn't be bothered. And I think like last year, my wife got set up with her own business, so she's got her thing. And my daughter's got her thing. She started doing horse riding lessons. So like they've all got their own little things that are just for them. I was like, right, this is the perfect time for me to start my blog. So I've got something where I'm not daddy, I'm not husband, I'm me. And little do I know like how popular it would become. I'm very sort of blessed and surprised with the support my blog's got, and then the opportunities that I've got to come and do things like this. Like, this is wicked. Just sit around and chat to awesome people. Like, this is awesome.
And that's one of the reasons why we do it, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's all just from starting a blog and just sharing what I know. I don't know everything, but I've got some experience, and a lot of what I seem to share resonates with people. So, hey, I might have to carry on doing it. So, yeah, I enjoy that in my own time. I've slowed down the blog a little bit over the last sort of couple of months, mainly because there's a big football tournament on. So whenever that happens, I've always been the same. I like to watch every single game. I don't care who's playing. But my evenings, I normally kind of spend either in front of my laptop blogging, but when there's some football on, I'll be watching that.
Are you talking about Copa America, right?
Not Copa America, no, the Euros. I do watch a bit of Copa America because I do like watching some South American football. I think it's quite good.
5-0 yesterday, Uruguay against Bolivia.
Nice.
5-0.
Happy
Yeah, but
days.
it's not what everyone's looking. I know what you're looking at. I understand.
So yeah, that's community-wise. It's been quite cool. Yeah, just trying to share what I know, really. Whatever opportunity I can do. Still trying to balance it off against, the other third thing you said, and about family life. Like, I'm a big family man. First and foremost is my wife and my daughter. Like spending time with them, having a laugh. A lot of these Lego sets I've kind of built with my daughter because she's she's got the drug, which is, I feel like I've achieved everything I need to achieve as a father because she likes Lego. So that's good. But yeah, a lot of what I do is for my girls, really. We're a good family unit here. So
and that's how it should be.
yeah, exactly that. They come first, and obviously lots of people are we know that the community stuff is just a bonus if we get time to do some stuff cool. But a lot of the time I might just be sitting chilling with my daughter rather than writing a blog or giving her a tickling. She always likes a tickle from daddy. She's still at that age where daddy's cool, so I can enjoy like beating her up and giving her a tickle and whatever else. It's good fun. So yeah, very family orientated house here. We all have cuddles in this house. It's a staple. Every morning, every evening, start and end the day with cuddles. Everything else will then just work itself out after that, right? That's the way it should be.
Very nice.
That's our house.
That's great. That's a great message also for the people that are listening. Like, we're able to be part of the community, but when we need to prioritize family, it's so welcomed and it's understandable. And that's lovely what you just shared. So thank you for that.
I think it's nice when you've got that supportive unit, I think, as well. Like, we support each other. I think that's, I think a good family just works as a team, doesn't it? And, we've supported my wife through transition the last year, going from, when you're jacking a job, regular income to start your own business in a tough economy. It's been really tough in the UK the last sort of year or so with the economy and stuff. We support each other. And my daughter doing her horse riding and some other things that she does. She's got loads of different classes now. We support her, because that's just what we do. And in return, it's like when I go, hey, I'm going to go away for Belgium for a week for a conference. Yeah, cool, crack on. Like, we've got a nice balance. And so long as we don't lose sight of that and put each other in, if things get a bit too much, then I think we're in a good spot to say, help each other in that way too. So yeah,
that's great.
Things are cool at the moment. Let's put it that way.
That's very good.
So yeah, that's me really. I like Lego. There you go. Brett and I were talking before we came online about
that background. It's still.
If I'm not doing working and I'm not doing community stuff and I'm not playing with my family, then I might be seen building Lego. So yeah, as is on display. I do that. I've got to run out of room though. I need to get a bigger house just so I can have more Lego.
Yeah, of course.
I follow some people on I think it was on Instagram. They have a whole basement, which is twice as big as my whole house, I think.
I know, right? I've seen
with all that Lego, all the stuff.
It looks amazing. Like they even kind of like they made the whole streets, haven't they? So they put like roads.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
That's so awesome. But my bank account won't allow me.
That would literally be hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds.
Well, but if you become an influencer, maybe you can have a deal with Lego.
Some stuff.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, look at this face. I'm not going to be an influencer. That's fair. Right.
Welcome to the club.
Not going to happen. Wishful thinking, but yeah, it's a dream, right? To have, for me, like that would be the pinnacle that I've made it. It's like I've got a basement full of Lego, then I'll be happy. But that's never going to happen. So I'll be happy with the ones I've got. I'm good.
Yeah, and it's a nice hobby, and it's a nice thing to spend. Well, not spend your time on, but enjoy your time on.
Yeah, and I think my brain is very hyperactive. It has been for years. Like I literally wake up at 3 a.m. with like a blog idea and I'll write it down. Like, my brain literally does not stop firing. I wish it did because I'd like some sleep every now and then. It'd be quite nice. But the one thing that chills my brain out is building Lego.
Of course.
I just for whatever reason, it seems to like clear my brain out and I just focus on instructions, get a piece. add a piece. Instructions, get a piece, add a piece.
Yeah.
I just kill hours just doing that. It's expensive. It's an expensive remedy, though, isn't it? Expensive remedy.
Yeah, it's a lovely thing to do.
Rex, do you have a question for Craig?
I do, yeah. We've talked basically what you do in the community. You've spoken in Belgium together with Michael. You did a session. But for this year, we're going to Aberdeen.
Yes.
The speakers are announced, so we can say that you're a speaker this year.
I am, yes.
So what are you going to talk about? What are you going to do?
I am going to talk about the code review tool. So if you've built a Canvas app or a custom page, the PowerCat team released a tool a few years ago called the code review tool. So you could upload a solution with multiple apps or custom pages, and it'll kind of process the app against, I think it's like an engine behind the scenes. It's got like some specific patterns. Then it can kind of score your app based on how many of these patterns it matches, basically. I know when I started at ANS, there wasn't very much knowledge about the tool, so we kind of implemented it in-house, and we used that to kind of some of our customer builds to validate, to making sure we're building to a high quality. So I thought, you know what? I haven't seen anything in the community about this tool. Lots of people probably don't know about it, especially if they're new to the Power Platform, and they might just be like a single developer that's kind of finding things on YouTube. Well, that might look right. I'm not sure, but yeah, that'll do. It's difficult when you've got to mark your own homework because you don't know whether it's right or not. So I thought, you know what, let's go and just kind of talk about the tool for 45 minutes or so, what it does, what the kind of outputs are, where you might want to use the tool in terms of application lifecycle management, like do we want to do it before UAT, before production, whatever. And I might just do a bit of fun and like take some apps from the community and put them through the code review tool, and maybe a bit of fun, and kind of like we'll have a bit of a guessing game as to see what kind of scores other people's apps again. So if anyone's listening and you've got any apps out in the community, you've got 4 months to make them absolutely pucker. Otherwise, I'm going to show you up. Nah, all good. So we're talking about that.
And don't forget to bring the URLs or access to Greg during the event, so he can do it live on stage for you.
Yeah, happy days. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing something on the code review tool. I'm looking forward to it. It's a tool that I use quite a lot. I think it's actually now technically unsupported by the PowerCat team, but I'm going to start getting in touch with them over the coming weeks and going, okay, well, can we support it again? Because it's a really important tool and it's undervalued. So yeah, we talk about that. Really excited. Absolutely buzzing. I was going to come to Scottish Summit anyway. I'd already booked my hotel. I'm in the process of getting my flight sorted out in the next couple of days anyway. So to be accepted to speak is an added bonus. I was going to be there anyway. So yeah, really excited. Looking
Got to go to your session. I already have 2 sessions from people we interview that I think
I'm not a Power Platform person myself, but it sounds really interesting also to me. So
cool.
Especially if you're in the Power Platform, you should visit it without a doubt.
I hope so. And obviously the tool's there. People can go and kind of download it and play around with it beforehand anyway. Hopefully to sort of give some of my experiences and how we've not just used it internally in ANS, but we do some quite interesting stuff as part of our ecosystem engagements, empowering other people to build. That tool is quite centric to a lot of that. It's like, hey, like if you've got a lot of makers in your organization, think about getting them to use this to validate apps, and maybe it needs to meet a certain percentage or grade before you promote it to production, and we start having all these different rules with different organizations, and it's all centered around the tool and the validation. So yeah, it's going to be some important stuff, and looking forward to it. Got some really cool ideas. Hopefully we're going to make it a bit of fun. I'm bound to have lots of memes because I do like a good meme. So
that's great.
If that doesn't sell it, then what?
You already had one on over, but now we're certainly coming.
It's all about the memes. So yeah, looking forward to it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have to prep for that. So I'll just probably start prepping relatively soon. I do notice that some people in Belgium is like, it's the norm to finish your prep like the last minute, but that's not me. I'm going to be well prepared.
No, there are people, but those people usually have a couple of slide decks or a couple of presentations, and they just do it together.
I've been doing it for years. So
if you're like me, I also already started for October, so.
Yeah, I think it's good to be prepared, right? So
I'm the only, I'm not the only, but I'm the other way. Like I wait until I know I cannot procrastinate anymore and I need to do it. But I know the topic, so I'm quite confident, that the presentation will go well. And
I think that's important. If you know what you're talking about, I think that kind of helps because you've got to be passionate about it to want to speak about it in the first place. And then I think, even if you're a first-time speaker or you've been doing it for years, if you enjoy what you're talking about, it's just naturally going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Things are just going to actually flow. You don't necessarily need a script. You just need probably a couple of slides just to kind of keep you on track and make sure like your timings are right. That's kind of what I felt for Belgium a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't the content. I deliver the content every day. That's fine. It was more making sure we don't overrun, making sure the timings are good, making sure I say some key points. Those are sort of things I'll probably prep.
Yeah, and also if you do it with 2 people, you also have to get a flow going, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very true. And Michael and I hadn't actually met in person before Belgium either.
That's great.
Which was wicked, man. But we'd spoken on Teams loads. I think because I was blogging about some governance stuff last year, I think we just sort of started pinging each other on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
So we've naturally had a good rapport anyway, I think, just from our virtual interaction.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met him in person, it just felt like just hanging out with my mate that I've known for a year. It didn't feel weird, if you know what I mean. So it was good to have a flow with someone.
Yeah.
I probably couldn't do a whole day workshop all on my own. So hats off to anyone who does, because
it's too much, right?
Yeah, I was knackered. I can't lie. So it was nice to kind of say, well, I do a bit, then Michael does a bit, then I do a bit, then Michael does a bit. And I guess that's, even if you're only speaking for 45 minutes, it's kind of good to kind of keep that flow and share the burden if you're kind of new to this stuff as well, right?
I do think also that the sessions or the workshops that you do with more than one speaker, it's I don't know why, but you get the audience more engaged. Well, it's obvious, right? You're 2 speakers, they need to have the attention, but also the audience interacts more than if you're just one speaker. That's what I found, like in my experience, that when we were 2 or more, it's always, they feel more confident to ask questions.
Yeah.
So
that's a good shout. I think also it's also nice. I found it in the tutorials, a couple of questions from the floor. I'd be completely stumped. I was like, I've literally no idea what the answer is. But then there's someone next to me that might know the answer. So I didn't feel like totally exposed. It's like, I'm up here, but I don't know the answers. And I never profess that I do know the answers. But again, it was nice to dovetail with someone else. It's kind of like, oh, maybe it's this. And then you start the conversation a bit more because you've got someone else to kind of back you up, I suppose.
Yeah.
That was quite a nice comfort as well, I think.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so we have another question. You spoke already about Scottish Summit, but what are you hoping to bring back home after Scottish Summit? Is there any specific thing that you would like to do, like networking or meeting new people? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I think the one, if I could sum up what I'm going to bring back in one word, it'd be memories. Simple as that. And I think that encompasses a lot of things, because I don't, because of where I live in the UK, I don't get to many events because it's very costly to travel. I normally have to travel somewhere else to then travel to somewhere. I just can't do it. It's not feasible for me. So when I do get to these events, I want to make the most of it. EPPC was great for me a couple of weeks ago because I got to meet a load of people for the first time that I've admired or spoken to for a number of years virtually. So those are memories in terms of just going out, having a good time, not talking about the tech, but just meeting people, because we're all just people at the end of the day, and just talking about our family lives, our backgrounds, our experiences, how we do content for stuff. Those are memories that I'll take. The memories of speaking, the memories of watching other people and supporting other people do their sessions. I think it's just memories at these events. It's just an opportunity to kind of take a break away from the norm and just make the most of it. And I resonate a lot with Keith Watlin's keynote at South Coast Summit last year, because I've always come to these events where I'm just sort of like, I'm very sort of timid and shy. Like, am I allowed to talk to these people? Am I not? Like, outside looking in, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that sort of thing. And Keith said, you know what? If you come to these events, just go and talk to people. Yes, come to learn. There's some amazing sessions, and absolutely go and learn as much as you can, because you haven't got to check your emails or Teams. You're here to learn, but maybe skip a couple of sessions and go and talk to people, go and interact, go and say hello, have some laughs, make some memories, have some fun. And I think Scottish Summit's really well set up for that, because not only have we got the conference side, I think we've got the quiz, we've got the cabaret, we've got the awards evening. So there's lots going on for us to enjoy. And again, just make those memories. And it's not always I think the tech brings us together. But actually, there's some really good friendships we all make.
Yeah, in the end, it's all about the old friend and the new friend, basically.
So that's what I'm going to be bringing back, hopefully, memories. So
that's good.
Looking forward to it.
But I mean, you will not bring the trophy back if you're going to take part of the pub quiz because there's already a winning
Well,
team.
yeah,
I'm going to mute you
what I
again, Anna.
understand from last year's South Coast Summit.
3 times in a row.
The trash talking starts pretty early. I know, yeah, 3 times in a row. To be honest, I think we just enjoyed having a laugh, and Chris Huntingford was my captain, and obviously we won Scott DeRoe last year, so I think we just spent more time just fanboying over Scott DeRoe. To be honest, perfectly honest, we didn't care about the questions. I think we still came 3rd or 4th out of 10.
That's good.
So respectable. It's good. It's all right.
Respectable. Rex, which place were you at?
So, do we have any other subjects?
Oh, that was cold.
No, I can't remember, but yeah, I don't think it was lost, but it was a pretty good second last time.
Okay.
That's
but it's all for the good fun of it, so that's the most important thing.
It's all about the fun. All these people think like it's all about the winning and the trophies. I think at some point, when you're at the top, you're gonna get knocked down at some point. This year might be the year, right? This year might be the year.
The higher you grow, the harder you fall.
We're going to get a point where we're going to lose or be in second, third place, and we will not like it. But it won't happen this time.
You reckon? You seem confident already. I mean,
yeah, of course. You have we have a strategy. We prepare. We study before.
I think we need to have a word. Who's doing is it Andrew Bibby doing the questions again? I think we need to have a word with him and try
Andrew
and
Trish.
make them some questions that you will find it impossible to answer. Maybe I don't know.
But if I don't know it, some people from the table will know it. So
maybe we should do some more Azure Infra questions this time instead of Power Platform stuff.
Ooh. There you go.
That's mean.
But yeah, I'd imagine I'm not surprised if the trash talking has started already in various WhatsApp chats of who's going to win the quiz, because that is an important part of it. And again, it all goes down to memories, isn't it? Like winning the pub quiz, it's a bit of fun, but it's also a memory, isn't it? So happy days. Like the memory I had from the quiz last year was Chris Huntingford in a squirrel costume.
That was awesome.
Like, I mean, you know what? What the hell? You can't get better memories than that.
No, no. I want to say something, but it's
not safe.
I can't say it on online.
Before Rex goes to the outro and to the goodbyes, and it's going to ask me a question that I will hopefully remember. Would you like to share with you like your blog and where people can find you and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I've got a blog at platformsofpower.net.
Nice.
I try to blog on there. I used to blog once a week, but maybe a little bit less now because the football's on, and I might do some other bits. But I'm trying to do a couple of blog posts a month. I am on X or Twitter or whatever it's called this week, but I'm probably going to move off from there. I don't really enjoy the platform. But you can find me on LinkedIn. So if you search for Craig White and find the one who's an ecosystem architect at ANS, that's me. So if you want to connect and talk and do whatever, then yeah, crack on. Those are 2 places you can find me.
And then we can find you also in October in Scottish Summit, speaking about the code review.
Absolutely. I am there at Scottish Summit. I'm going to be there from the Thursday until the Sunday. So again, I'll reiterate that message from Keith. If you see me around, come talk to me. I like to think I'm approachable, like to have a laugh, like to meet new people. So I'm definitely not one of those people that you can't come and talk to. So please come and say hi if you see us.
I don't think there are at these community events. There are a lot of people that are not approachable.
Yeah, I'd agree. Maybe like when I went to a few 2017, 18, maybe there were. Maybe it's just my interpretation. But I always give an open invitation out. Like if I'm around, come and say hello, come and have a laugh, make memories. Just what it's all about.
Well, if I didn't have a good night's sleep the day before, I would probably be not a welcoming person to talk to, but I will tell you up front.
So. True. But I think sometimes adrenaline at these events keeps you going, doesn't
it?
So,
yes.
That's for sure, yeah.
And then you come back home and you're like drained completely. You need to rest.
I had like 2 days of pretty much hardcore sleep when I got back from Belgium. I was just like knackered. I was like falling asleep in the car in midday, like coming back from the shop. Yeah. I never fall asleep in the day. It's just not me. So they can be quite draining, but in a nice way. It's good fun.
Yeah, of course.
From all the impressions, all the new things you learn, the people you meet, it's so much in a couple of days. It's awesome, but it's
intense.
Yeah, definitely.
In a nice way.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. It's brilliant.
Awesome. For the people who want to go see Greg, and you should, of course, you can get your tickets on scottishsummit.com/tickets. It's on the screen now.
I don't know
We also
which
have
way.
workshops on the 17th of October. There are still tickets available. You can go to the same URL. If you want to get a hotel or a flight, we have some agreements with some parties, so you can get some discounts. Don't forget a pub quiz. Don't forget the cabaret, the community awards, and we hope to see you all 18 and 19 October in Aberdeen in the P&J Live. So,
What is the hashtag?
So, Greg, we will prepare for this. So, what's the hashtag? The hashtag we can use on the socials. So, if we reference Scottish Summit 2024.
We could have loads. Hashtag Scottish Summit 2024. Hashtag SS 2024. Hashtag
Very good.
Scottish Summit 2024. It's so easy, but we forget every time.
No,
Hopefully,
you
we will
forget every
remember.
time. There's a difference,
Yeah.
Anna.
Yeah.
SS24, I think, is the easy one. I think that's what I'm referring to it as. SS24. That's the simplest hashtag, I think, isn't it? Least amount of keystrokes. That's what we want.
Well, thank you very much, Craig. It's been amazing to get to know you a bit more and understand what's your work in the community and in your life and in the ANS. And yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. We're really looking forward to see you in October.
Likewise.
So thank you for your time today. And Rex, I don't know if you want to take it away.
Well, the only thing is to say is, well, thank you all very much for listening and watching, and hope to see you again on the next episodes. Thank you very much.
The road to Scottish Summit starts here. This is the Power Platform Podcast. Join Rex de Koning, Ana Inés Urrutia de Sousa, and Paddy Byrne as they talk to the Microsoft community about